Good morning, Western Washington, and happy Thursday. I'm Matthew Fab with Western Washington Weather, and today we're going to take a look at the forecast for our incoming atmospheric river and potential wind event on the backside of it, and we're going to look at how much rain we're going to get and how much wind we could get as well. So starting here with the satellite imagery, you can see we have some high clouds moving across Western Washington today. Going to be mostly sunny today with high clouds at times, and then you can see our atmospheric river. It's way offshore here, and it's going to be moving toward the coast, and then down into Western Washington as we go through the day today, so stay tuned for more on that. Taking a look at the radar, you can see quiet radar this morning. That will not be the case by tomorrow. You'll have that atmospheric river starting to move out of Vancouver Island and toward Western Washington, but enjoy the nice quiet radar today. Now taking a look at the European model, you can see we have this big ridge across the area today that's bringing our dry and sunny conditions, but then this trough moves in, atmospheric river signature right in here. Atmospheric river moves across Western Washington, and then on the backside of that atmospheric river, we may have a system move through. We have a brief break there on Sunday with some lingering showers, and then another trough moves in as we go into Monday and Tuesday, and that's going to keep us active as we remain with troughing offshore all the way to the middle of next week. So stay tuned for more as we go through the next few days. Taking a look at the precipitation type forecast, you can see we're dry today. By tonight, that atmospheric river is impacting Vancouver Island. By 2 p.m. as we go into Friday, there you get that rain across most of the lowlands. By 5 p.m., the entirety of Western Washington getting some heavy rainfall. And then as we go into about 8 p.m., when everyone's trick-or-treating out there, take a look at that. Lots of rain across the area. It's definitely going to be a pretty wet one for Halloween. You can see that rain continues across the area as we go into Saturday morning. And look at this 997 millibar low that moves onshore, has a pressure gradient behind it. This could bring some strong winds to the area as we go into Saturday morning, and it's something we need to watch pretty closely. You can see that pressure gradient along the sound, and especially the north sound there in northwest interior. We'll have to take a look at that closely in the next couple minutes here, so just stay tuned for that. Rain continues as we go through Saturday morning, tapers as we go to Saturday night with a convergence zone likely there across central Snohomish County, and then we have a lot more showers that move through the area as we go through Sunday, and by Sunday night we are dry again across Western Washington. It doesn't last for long there. As you can see, our next system moves in by Monday afternoon, bringing another round of rain to Western Washington before we have another system that likely comes in on Wednesday. Now taking a look at the atmospheric river, this is precipitable water, amount of water vapor in the atmosphere here. You can see that atmospheric river right here moves in Vancouver Island through the day Friday and then pushes down into Western Washington as we go through Friday night into Saturday. It remains there. You see the little swirl of our low pressure system that moves in after it. That atmospheric river continues impacting us through Saturday morning before pushing south across Oregon. Now taking a look at total precipitation through the end of the weekend, the European model on the left, the national blend of models from the National Weather Service on the right. You can see the European model showing a more pronounced rain shadow from about Everett up toward Whidbey Island and the northeast Olympic Peninsula there. Those areas getting about a half inch of rain. South of there, Seattle gets about an inch, Tacoma 1.5 inches, Olympia down to Portland 1.25 to 1.75 inches, the coast getting 1 to 3 inches, and then areas north of about Mount Vernon, they're getting 1 to 2.5 inches, mountains getting 2 to 3 inches. And then taking a look at the national blend of models over here, you see a little bit of rain shadowing there, but a lesser signal for that. This shows a lot more rain for Seattle. The entire I-5 corridor here getting 1 to 1.75 inches with up to 2 inches on the Kitsap Peninsula, then 2 to 3 inches on the coast, and up to 4 inches in the mountains. So regardless of which forecast model you look at, it's going to be a very wet weekend with multiple inches of rain for some spots, but there may be some small subtleties, especially in these rain-shadowed areas to the northeast of the Olympic Peninsula in terms of how much rain we get. But areas really from Seattle southward are looking very likely to have 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches of rain. So stay tuned for more as we look at the rain impacts, and we'll look at some high-resolution models tomorrow so we can see an even better picture of what this may look like. Snow, you can see not much at all, maybe 2 to 3 inches at Stevens Pass. But other than that, snow levels rise with the atmospheric river, and that's about all we get. Maybe the highest elevations in the North Cascades getting up toward 6 or 7, 8, 9. And this pink is actually about 10 inches, so maybe the higher elevations of the North Cascades getting about 10 inches there. Now taking a look at this low pressure system here, you can see this is about Saturday morning. You see this start to move in to Western Washington as we go into about 8 a.m. there. Look at, there's a pressure gradient on the south side. This little low develops pretty quickly, strengthening as it goes in and then pushes up into Canada, still strengthening and still getting deeper. These can actually, if they come in just a little bit stronger than modeled, they can actually cause some damage. So this is something you have to watch closely. You can see in this frame right here, there is a pressure gradient on the south side of this low, and it's a pretty tight one. So if we look at the European model, you can see with the atmospheric river, it does show gusts up to 40 miles per hour for the northwest interior and the coast. But then take a look as this low starts to move in. Look at that. You get winds gusting up to 55 to 60 miles per hour for the northwest interior, a 55 mile per hour westerly surge for Whidbey Island. And then look in the lowlands, you have gusts of 45 to 50 miles per hour yet again, and then the coast gusting 45 to 55 miles per hour. Take a look at some of these ridges up in the North Cascades gusting up towards 60 to 70 miles per hour, maybe some 80 mile per hour gusts in some of the ridges of the Olympic Peninsula, depending on how this comes in. But look at these winds for the northwest interior. I mean, 56 miles per hour in Mellingham, 57 there about Whidbey Island. That's no joke. That's a pretty significant wind. So we have to watch this really closely to see how this trends, and if other models start picking up on this. The European model does do pretty good on these type of little lows moving in, so we have to watch it closely. So stay tuned for more in tomorrow's video as we take another look at if this is really something that's going to happen. So, and also stay tuned to my social media. I'll definitely be posting about this. And then a real quick look at high temperatures. You can see today highs in the mid-50s. As we go into Friday there, highs in the low 50s for most of the area. Going into Saturday, atmospheric river moves through. Highs get up into the 60s, upper 50s, low 60s for most of western Washington. Look at eastern Washington, south of the atmospheric river with the southerly flow, get highs up into the 70s. And then going into Sunday, we cool down as cool showers move through. Highs in the low to mid-50s. Monday, we cool down even further, highs in the low 50s across the region. And then going into Tuesday, you can see we may warm up a little bit with some more southerly flow, highs up into the low to mid 60s. We'll see how that goes. That could be pushing some records for November, but stay tuned for more on that. And then, of course, our 6 to 10 day outlooks, November 4th to 8th. So we're getting a little bit further into November as we look out here. Above average temperatures for basically the entirety of the western and Midwest United States. And then look at that above average precipitation signal for the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. So definitely that's an indicator of what our pattern is going to be here over the next few weeks. Get a nice Western Washington weather long sleeve shirt on our merch store. Check the link out in the description below. And thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to Western Washington Weather, follow the Western Washington Weather Facebook group, and then follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. So thank you all very much for watching. Stay tuned for more, as in tomorrow's video we'll talk about the atmospheric river again, and we'll take a look at that potential windstorm. And follow my social media for all the latest updates, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow.